Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a new channel, Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson. I'll be your guide for today. Today is 14th of October, 2021. Today, I'm going to talk about a really interesting topic, something that happened to me when I went on a vision quest over in Ohio. I want to share with you this because there's a lot of people out there that are having a lot of trouble with their minds. And this is clouding their judgments, giving away their power, not connecting to their soul, so they don't know where they're really going. And when you're not in connection with your soul, you will always seek counsel somewhere else. So anyone who's having their own issues could easily guide you through their own controlling manners, trying to seek their own, things that they're lacking within themselves. So you're really giving away your power if you're not connecting to your soul. And the only way to do that is to be able to control your mind again. So this vision quest taught me a lot about myself and a lot about my mind. And it is a really cool story too. So let's get into it. Also, I do have some channel messages that I'll bring up afterwards. When I went to Ohio, this is back in 2010. We had to have a 28-day diet first. There was no root vegetables, no sugar. It was really hard to find something with no sugar in it. Every single packet on the, even the savory packets and the, when Woolworths and Coles and all that, they all have sugar, and it's really amazing how much sugar we actually ingest. I just had to bring that up. Anyway, when I got there, we had to take a tent and find a space on a massive block of land anywhere. And then we put 4 rocks in north, south, east, west, and that is the circle we stay in. So we just stay there for days on end. No food. It's vision quest. The reason why there's no root vegetables before we go is because we're aligning with our soul. We're aligning with our missions and guidance from higher benevolent beings. So we don't want to be grounded. We want to be, out with the fairies kind of thing. So through this amazing quest, I had to, I wrote down a lot of stuff, and yeah, there's a lot more to it because there's all these signs that I saw on the way there. I actually followed a rabbit to where I pitched my tent, and the elder that I was working with, her totem wasn't a rabbit, so that was interesting. I saw a tree next to my tent that I'd parked, or put up rather, and the tree had these markings that insects had made on the bark, and it was of a little stick figure with one hand going all the way up, and then to the foot it was like connected to the ground. So it was like a little person that was in between worlds, which is what I've always seen myself as someone who's constantly in between worlds. I had a caterpillar come and meet me. That was amazing. Yeah, when you're in that state of mind and you have no food and all of that sort of stuff, you see life a lot clearer. There's a lot more clarity and spark in nature and earth and messages everywhere. So what happened was I fell asleep. First of all, I had a dream of, we were already told what we were going to eat. First thing we were going to eat, and of course you're hungry. So I was dreaming of eating some noodles Now, they told me that we were going to be eating dumplings when I came out of it, but lo and behold, my premonition dream was correct. We were having noodles. So that just lines me up with the fact that the messages that I was getting was something to listen to. So what happened in this amazing dream was I woke up and in my dream and saw horses galloping both sides of my tent, and they were warring each other. So they were coming towards me, and I knew I had to get out of the tent quickly. So I crawled out of the tent and I saw a little cave. Now, when I look back at those horses, I see them as my own mind, the logical side and the intuitive side fighting against each other, trying to become something better than the other. And especially the left logical side was just, overtaking the intuitive side. I got to the cave, and this cave represented to me the pineal gland. Now, inside the cave was an elder, and she would never allow anyone coming from a warring zone to enter this cave. And this is to be able to enter into the pineal gland is to enter into our soul's evolution, to connect to our soul again, so that we can evolve freely from our own integrity, our own mission, not following somebody else's story or leadership or anything like that. You're taking the reins of your own life back, and your soul is your director, is your guide. So because I'm coming from the warring zone, and this is where everybody in humanity is, they are not allowed to go into connecting to that pineal gland until they have this balance between their mind, two hemispheres. In other words, that monkey chatter that you have, that has to be able to be controlled and not taking over, so that you can feel into your heart center, into your feelings, into your guides, into your soul's mission. So after this, when I went into that cave, the elder didn't even ask a question. She just pulled out her bow and arrow and took a shot at me, because I'm coming from a warring zone, right? So it was like absolutely no-go zone. This is what most people are going through. But there was another elder that was one of her friends, and she threw herself in front of me and took the blow. And she died in front of her friend, the elder that was the gatekeeper of the pineal gland. So it was kind of like I had some sort of protection that I could actually enter the pineal gland or enter into these other frequencies, more so than others, so that I could help tell you guys what's going on and how to connect back again. Now, the first elder that pulled a bow and arrow back and ended up killing her friend, the other elder, she held my hand because she wanted to try to find a way of stopping me, because that's her whole job, was to stop me from entering that pineal gland, and what a good job she was doing. So she holds my hand, and she can see into the future. Everything she tried, I just kept crawling back. Didn't matter what she did to me, I just kept crawling back. It was like I was extremely protected. So she was quite angry, and she just goes, go up the stairs, go to the realm, to the pineal gland, through to these other dimensional aspects of myself. So I marched up the stairs, and I got out. I came across this open field, and it was absolutely beautiful. Like, the scenery was very colorful. Greens were greener, and it was just a beautiful, serene place to be. I saw in front of me a river, a very small, kind of a stream river. And then across it was a bridge. Now, the bridge, I think, represents the corpus callosum that connects the two hemispheres together. And the river, I think, is like the stream of thoughts that go between the corpus and through the, between the corpus callosum from one intuitive to logic, and logic to intuitive. Anyway, I went on the bridge and there was this little boy, is like a little Palladian boy, little blonde one. And he came up to me and he puts out his hand in front of me and he's to say stop, and he says, watch this. And as he's putting his hand out towards the water that's flowing through just stops. And I went, wow, that's pretty cool that you can do that. You can stop the water. That's interesting. So it's like saying to stop the thoughts. There was two massive, huge fish that were coming down the water. And I now realize that the fish represent stories that we hold on to, the stories that we see ourselves as. They were, first one was dead. Like the story was dead. And he said, watch this. And as it went under the bridge, it started coming alive and it swam off. And then the next one behind it was decaying dead, like very dead. And he says, watch this. And I thought, there's no way he's going to be able to resurrect this fish. And in the end, it grew these weeds kind of through it, and it became something else and then swam off. And he was teaching me that the stories that we have, we can control enough to shift them, to change them into what we want, into a new reality if we desire. We have the control over what our reality becomes. Nobody else does. No leadership, nothing, just you and your thoughts, and you deciding, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not following this old story, this old program anymore. I'm trusting that I will be taken care of, that I am worthy to be here, that I'm a magnificent soul born in this amazing body, and I'm allowed to change my stories to suit myself, to make me into a grand, beautiful, magnificent person that I know I am. So it's a really valuable lesson for me, and I needed to share that with you guys at these times, because many are having trouble with their minds. Now, through the years from my 20s to 30s, Spirit did guide me in a way to show me how to control my thoughts. My mind was really bad. It was a monkey mind. It was constantly negative. And they told me to imagine anything, really. You could imagine anything that's easy to think of, like a fluffy duck, or I chose a fluffy duck and then I changed it to a sunflower later on, because a sunflower has that beautiful mandala inside it. So you use that. You could use a car, you could use whatever you like, something that gives you a good feeling though. And you use that as a default. So when you catch yourself thinking something negative, oh my God, my ex is going to do this to me, it's going to be a bad scenario, he always does this. Well, catch yourself and then put this image, this default image, and what you're doing is you're training your brain, you're training your mind, you're learning to still your mind. You're bringing it back to a simple picture. Sometimes it feels like you're really forcing it to do that. Just go with that, just really see if you can hold it as long as you can until you think of something better. Then they taught me, once I started controlling my mind a bit better, to when I thought of something not so nice, somebody, maybe somebody got at me the day before or something, and it kept repeating in my head, then what I did was they taught me that I could now try to, see if I could change the story from that to a better outcome. So, okay, that person was negative, I have to meet them again. Or maybe they're shifted and it's not as bad as what I think. Maybe I've made a big story up in my mind. Maybe they're having a good day today. Maybe it's, and think of more of a positive scenario. So you're shifting the story, see what happens. Many times when you shift the story, even if they haven't, when they approach you, it's like they don't get that reaction that they thought, and they shift their story too. And then you can upgrade even more to learning to still your mind. So once you learn to still your mind, you can actually shift your reality very fast. So that was interesting. And the more and more of us that do this, that are learning to control our minds and not have to follow somebody else's story plotline, that is really, most people that are trying to control you are coming from their own lack, and they're not bringing you into a very nice scenario. It's all to benefit them. It's not to benefit you at all. Majority of leaders are this. There are some coming up that are more spiritually based, but leaders aren't where we're going to. Where we're going to is you taking responsibility of your life, of your thoughts, of who you are, what you're creating. That's where we're leading to. Even myself, I'm just a guide. So that was really interesting. Now, what I want to do now is just go over some of these really cool messages that I got. So I'll go back and forth with these messages. There's a couple that are kind of focused a little bit on the negative side, and then there's some that are focused more on the lighter side of things. So this one was, I actually channeled quite a few things on the 13th of October, which was yesterday. Imagine we are likened to a computer game for a moment, where many levels of consciousness are only accessible via a certain level of accomplishment or skill set. Each level raises the game to more and more beauty, more and more adventures, and more responsibility as you become the master of much. Now imagine that the final level you need to get to requires only peace of mind, only stillness as you let go of any past and projected thoughts of all the other games and stories that got you here. Where this stillness brings you into a level of awareness and trust within oneself that only reflects acceptance for all, and within that acceptance, love is felt. This peace has no absorption of any lower vibrations. As each time another person fires any anger, fear, or jealousy at you, it simply moves through you with no trigger or reaction, and therefore the other person can only see into their own abuse of themselves. This is the new earth. This is where we are going. And every time you do the shadow work and move through all of your reactions, you move up another level of consciousness and gain more clarity and space within yourself to move through life with such accuracy and pleasure that you start to shift all of those surrounding you as well. Okay, now I'm going to jump to something that was channeled through on the 12th of October. This is sort of focusing on the not so good side of things, but I think it's necessary to bring forth as well. I mean, we're all not just roses and prettiness, are we? So And let's get into this. 12th of October. In these new frequencies, many will go insane because they know nothing of trusting their soul. They have such arrogance towards their intuition, which is what these new frequencies are connecting us to. If you don't let go of the mind enough to trust in this newfound balance within, the logical mind will consume one's reality and the person will overreact, over-project, and over-control to feel safe. But the only safe place now is to trust one's soul's connection to oneness. This is why so many leaders aren't making any sense anymore, but their power in the material world is a danger to others who are still playing the part of the victim. Believe it or not, the cabal, the mega wealthy, have seen into the future, and what they saw was the end of their control over humanity, no matter what they tried. So now they have decided to bring as many down with them as they can, not realizing they are going against their own awakening, their own evolution of their soul, as they too are a part of the whole, of oneness, of Prime Creator. We all have choice, but the separation they lead themselves towards is only going to consume the very path they try to control, because there is only one in the end, and that path is love. Okay, 13th of October. Because these new energies coming to Earth now are supporting all that move into love, love of themselves, love of the Earth, love of the experiences, then the more we step into that, the easier it is for that to become the norm, and all else will fall away in your reality. And isn't it your reality that's the only thing that truly matters in the end? For if you see all becoming safe, happy, exciting in your world, then this is what exists for you and all of those in your reality. You lifting your vibration and creating the world you desire can and will change everything. So thank you so much for being part of today's channel messages. Until next time, love you guys. Bye.